Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 160 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition and I've got a kind of a cool project going on in the shop today. So, if you want to see what I'm going to be doing today, you know what you need to do. All you need to do is stay tuned. Yes, we are in the shop again today, and I love it in here, but it is a bit of a mess. I've been doing other projects around the yard and in the house, and this is my hub. So everything gets dropped off here, changed here, open drawers, pull things out, not clean up after myself, basically. But that's not why I'm in here today, thank goodness. I'm going to be doing kind of a neat little project. This is a baluster from the railing of my wife's sister and her husband's deck. So I built that deck for them. I bet you it's about 40 years ago. And he's replaced a few parts already, but to his credit, he has always maintained the stain on that deck exceedingly well. In fact, we stained everything, or he stained everything before I assembled the deck. So we didn't have anything going together without stain on it. So I'm not sure exactly how much he's replaced, but now it's getting into the balusters and we need to start making some more of these. Now originally I believe these were made out of cedar. I'm not sure. This is kind of hard to tell. To me it could be cedar. I don't know. It's kind of rotten. It's hard to look at. And I'm not going to bother taking the finish off to see what it was because he's very, very happy with doing them out of regular construction spruce. So that's what I'm working on today. I am going to make more of these. And I have already made the prototype. So I had to set up a few tools to do this. So in today's video, I'll show you how I go about making one of these. All right, well, the goal is to make, I think he only really needs 8 replacements, but I picked up a little bit extra lumber and we're going to make 12. So that way he has a couple of extras when he gets there. And I remade the jig to make the taper, so I'll just keep that, and if he needs more in the future, we'll do it. But, so here's a 2x4/8 construction spruce. This is as good as our lumber yard had. It's not bad. Actually, it's got 4 edges on most of it, and they were outside and a little damp, and I can tell, even though they've been in here for 3 or 4 hours, they're starting to move a little bit already. So I'm going to start getting these things made. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just cut the end off. Even just a blade width or so, a little bit more than that. Okay, and I'm working on the right side of the saw, and I'm standing there, so I'm going to operate the saw with my left hand. Okay, here we go. Okay. And, oh, missed the garbage. Maybe that's why the shop looks like it does. Okay, and then I set this stop here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a stop there. This is 46.5 inches, and I get 2 pieces out of an 8-footer. So, yeah, studs don't work on this because it's 46.5. Actually, yesterday I went in, bought some construction studs, because I worked off of memory, and my memory said that thing was 46 inches long, and then a construction stud would have worked. Excuse me. But I need that 2x4 anyway for another project, so I'll just keep it. But anyway, let's cut one to 46.5. And I'm kind of blocking you, but okay, and we'll put it on the pile. Another thing I'd really like in this shop, and I think I'm going to make actually, is a parts cart. Something that I can put my parts I'm working on, put them on there and roll them around the shop. That would be handy. Okay, and we're set up again. All right. And this is a bigger piece. Oh my, I'm off today. Okay, so that's cutting these 2x4s to 46.5 inches long. That's the first step. So I've got two good cut square ends on them. And not that it's that fussy, but it's just a habit I have. So that's what I'm doing. So anyway, I've got, what, 3 more studs to do. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll bring you back when we're getting ready to cut the taper. All right, now that I've got all the pieces cut to 46.5 inches, the next thing to do is to put the taper on. Now, to be honest, I'm not even sure what degree angle this is because it really doesn't matter. What I did is I just built a little jig out of scraps, and it's really not quite ideal. I wish I had a thinner bottom because now the table saw blade has to be quite high. And I wished I would have had a spring clamp, like an over-center clamp, that I could have clamped these down with, but I don't have anything like that. So it's important that this taper line up with the jig because this is going to be where the blade is cutting. And then all I do is flip these in like that, and here's my impromptu handle, and I push it against the fence and push it through. It is a little awkward, but it works. And even if I was doing more of these, I would maybe do the same thing. Although one thing I maybe would add, I'd do, like I said, I'd go with a thinner base, and then I'd add a runner to it so that it slid in the slot rather than on the fence, because that would keep it more stable. But for 12 of them, I'm not going to do that. This is the way it's going to happen, and I already know that this works. So we're going to just take this out. Another thing that came up when I was testing this is my blade guard is really kind of in the way for this. Now, when you take a piece, and here, I'm just going to grab one. So this is a piece that would go in here like this, but as this goes into the blade, it's at an angle, and fences are not good at dealing with pieces coming in at an angle. So I compromised. This fence, the right and left side of this fence can act independently. So what I did is I just impromptu with duct tape, taped up everything on that side. I still have blade coverage on this side. So I am really not used to running saws without guards anymore. My teaching in the public school system got rid of that habit for me. I always try to put the guards on now, and this was in the way at first, but I think now I've got it working. So anyway, that's the jig. And when you put the 2x4 in here, if you have a bad edge or whatever, now's the time to deal with it. Because if I put it in like this, there's a line here, I'll cut most of that off. So anyway, I'm going to come back and I'm going to make at least one for you. Maybe more, who knows. I'll do what I want. It's my video. Okay, we'll be back. Well, we're going to cut the taper, but you're going to notice a little bit of a change in my table saw setup here. I thought I could get the left and the right sides to work independently, but and maybe my temporary setup also wasn't very good, but I found that things just kept getting jammed. So what I did is I flipped the guard back and clamped the two anti-kicks together because they were in the way. The one for the piece coming in and the offcut was tapered so it would come in between and get stuck. I don't like running a saw this way, but in the time, yeah, and it's always a matter of time. The time I have today, I think I can do this safely. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut taper. Now, this is where you can get rid of some of the garbage on your material. If you have a waned edge or whatever, you can just cut that off now. So I've selected this and I've picked the best edges here. So I'm just going to lock this in. And those things seem to work pretty good. Now, the other thing that I've noticed in my videos, I seem to have trouble with sound when there's a machine running. The cheap mic system I have seems to do a pretty good job of voice, but when I start running equipment, it kind of gets kind of muddled up. So, and if you've watched my other videos, you're aware of that. But I'm just curious, has there anybody out there who has watched all 160 videos that I've put out? If you have watched them all, please put your name in a comment. Okay, please make a comment. In other words, yeah, I'll get it right yet. But yeah, I'd be curious to see. So anyway, we're just going to cut one here to show you what this is like. And I tend to stand out of the way of this. My hand is safe here because it's on the handle. But yeah, I don't like cutting, and I don't recommend that you guys cut without a guard. I don't like this. But it works. So this, there we go. I got it. I'm a little closer to the garbage now. Okay, so then you take this out and you end for end it and lock it in. There we go. All right, let's repeat that again. Just make sure nothing's touching the blade when you're going to turn the saw on. And when you're done cutting, try to push this past the blade. And always wait for the saw to come to a complete stop before you go after that little piece of scrap. I used to ask students, okay, how much is that little piece of scrap worth? Like, is it worth your fingers? And they decided it wasn't. So anyway, now the cutting is done. Now we're going to start routing. Okay, we'll be back when we get to that stage. I've got a few more of these to make yet. Well, the advantage of having a dozen routers is that I can basically put a bit in and not have to change bits in between. So on this particular little piece of junk router, I have the roundover bit, and the roundover goes on the back side. So when you put this on the deck, this is the inside, this is the outside, and we're just rounding over these corners. So let's do that. I've got a couple of router pads down here, or basically not router pads, they're drawer liner for toolbox liners. Anyway, let's do some routing. Okay, that's one side. Let's do the other side. Okay. There we go. That's the back side done, and we've got a whole stack here to do yet. But I don't think you need to bother seeing more than one. I'm going to finish the back side, and then I'm going to start the other side, and I'll show you one or two of those. Okay, we'll be back. Well, I've been routing most of them. I'm past the halfway mark. The one problem with this is I get sawdust on here that allows this to slide, and I clean it, but it still slides. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to somehow use this router one-handed, which I have a way of doing, but not something you'd want to show somebody if you were teaching them how to use a router. So anyway, with that in mind, here we go. I got so carried away telling you what I was doing wrong, forgot to tell you that we're cutting the cove now. So on both sides, we'll do that. And oops, that's the wrong way. I'll have it this way. That's the way I use it. Okay. There we go. That's another one. I've had it in my head for on and off for the last while. I like this Hitachi router. What is it? It's M12VC. Some Hitachi equipment. I have a bit of it because when Princess Auto was dumping all its Hitachi stuff, I bought a bunch of it and I was fine with it. This has been a great router. The only thing I've considered doing is putting some kind of a D handle on it, like something I could grab like that, because it's got a fair bit of weight to it, and to handle the knobs is a little bit dicey. So I don't know, if I had the funds, one of those Milwaukees that you grab the body with a sleeve, I like that idea. But anyway, so I have only got about 3 more of these to do, but now you've seen one, you know how it's done. So I'm going to bring you back when it's done. Well, they're all done. All the machining is done, all the routing. I was just going to run the sander over a few spots here just to get rid of some of the hair from routing, and where the bearing on the bit hit a knot, there's a little bit of a deflection. I'll take care of that with the sander. And yeah, they're done. Tell you, credit to the owner, the homeowner here, with meticulous maintenance, getting this deck to last, well, it's got to be 40 years or close to it anyway. So kudos to him. If I had this to do again, this spruce you can feel it, it's wet. I hope these things don't twist all up, but if they do, I have the jig to make the taper, and the bits are in the routers. It's simple to do now. There would just be more repetition. So, but yeah, like I say, I'm going to sand just a wee little bit on most of them just to clean them up a bit, make them easier to stain. I'm not going to stain them. The homeowner's going to do that. So I'm going to try to get them down there tomorrow, and he can work at it at his leisure. But yeah, so I guess that's the end of this video. So thank you for watching. Earlier in the video, I made a comment about trying to find out if there's anybody out there who's watched all 160 videos that I've made. If that person is out there, or persons, or who knows, maybe it's all 616, all my subscribers. Maybe all of you have gone and done that. That'd be wonderful. But anyway, if you've watched all the videos, please leave your name and an impression in the comments. What do you think? Okay, so yeah, that takes care of this. This was what is this? This is the weekend edition, that's right. Weekend edition, so next week, the weekly edition will probably be on the far side of Wednesday, or right around Wednesday. We'll shoot for that. and I think I know what I'm going to do. So that's always helpful. So yeah, please remember just to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you develop an interest in this, because my video or my channel is just doing what I do. So we've done everything from repairing shafts to making balusters to installing railings and all kinds of stuff. So it's never the same two in a row. So yeah, that's what I do. So yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful weekend and a great start to next week. Take care out there. We'll see you in the next video.